What's up, everybody?
What's going
What's
on?
up, gentlemen?
Hello. What's up?
Yep.
What up? What up?
Welcome to the THF Extra Point, brand new season, season 2. And we have a new face with us this go round.
Dabs? Dabs is new here, right?
Yeah, Dabs is brand new.
Mhm.
Everybody, welcome Digital Navy in place of Firestorm. Firestorm had to bow out unexpectedly, and we knew that was kind of going to be possible. So once he made that call, Digital Navy was a perfect choice to step up and fill that role. Unfortunately for Dabs, that means another Cowboy fan on the show.
As you can
And
see, I look fucking thrilled. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm more sad that it's Brian over anybody else.
Feel the love already. The fantasy season hasn't even started yet, and he already hates me.
right, we got a great this was the announcement day when we made the news to Dabs and let him know that Firestorm was dropping off and Digital Navy would be coming up in his place. This is what it looked like.
100%.
If it makes you feel any better, I'll try to not talk about the Cowboys at all. Talk a lot about the Texans.
Anybody know who that is?
It's not a Cowboy show. We all know that, right? No,
Hey,
who
like, you
is?
can't hang out with old men.
Oh, well, welcome everybody. We got some a lot of faces in the chat already. Guys, we're here for you guys. Let us know if you have some football questions, some football hot takes on the upcoming season. If you got some fantasy football questions, obviously we're all big on into Prize Picks and Underdog and daily fantasy, good stuff like that. So obviously, if you want to hit us with some questions there, this is not gambling advice, and if you have a gambling problem,
It's a guarantee.
Yeah,
It's a gambling promise.
gambling's not
what
legal in Texas, guys.
what is the number? It's like 1-800 gambling. I think that's all it is. And if you have,
I don't
if
need
you
it,
feel
so I
like
don't
you
know.
have a gambling problem, definitely. Yeah, Navy's got that fancy piano. You didn't know he had it like that, did you?
I'm rich, baby. I'm rich. So rich, I don't even need arms. You ready for this? Look at that. Whoa.
So rocket racing money.
Yeah, that rocket racing money, baby. You don't even know about that. If I move just right, I think I got a bookshelf somewhere. There it is. Oh, there. Oh, there it is. There's the bookshelf.
Wasn't there somebody in your chat like a couple streams ago talking about earnings and from the FNCS and stuff?
Somebody
this is
said he
that
made like
rocket racing.
$100,000. Yeah,
This is that
which
rocket
y'all know
racing
about rocket
FNCS
racing,
money.
man. Make $100,000 on rocket racing.
Let's go. Well, guys, has everybody finished all their fantasy football drafts?
Yep,
Yep.
I just
All-
did my
all-
last one today.
Last night.
What is it? Good or bad? Like good or bad?
I think I did fantastic. The later rounds kind of iffy because there was a lot of people reaching in this league for some reason, but my team itself, without any injuries, looks really good. So I'm excited about it.
Now you're talking about the THF league, right?
In that one, I'm more confident in my team. In that one, I was talking about the one I did today. But yeah,
you did another one today.
Yeah.
How many leagues
Yeah.
are you in total?
I'm in 3 fantasy leagues.
3?
I'm at 4.
But I've done like over 150 best ball drafts.
Oh my god.
Jesus. I've done like 3 or 4 of those.
Dude's wearing out Underdog and Prize Picks already. The season hadn't even started, bro.
Yep. Y'all gonna see, bro.
Did you? You're in 2 leagues, you said?
2 leagues. Yeah.
2?
I had
in
my other
3.
fantasy draft like 3 or 4 days before the CHF one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in 3. I'm in Janu's league. I'm in another. The other one that I'm in is really odd. It's the odd man out because it's a auction style draft. That is, if you've never done an auction style draft, it's weird. It's really different.
Yeah.
There's a
But
lot
they're
different.
fun. They were a lot more fun when pre-COVID, because the league that I'm in is like 31 years old. Like when this league was founded, they were getting stats out of the newspaper.
Oh yeah, I'm in year 19 of mine.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
crazy, but yeah, the auction style is, we used to all get together in person, and that was a lot of fun. But since COVID and people moving and everything else, like we just don't do an in-person draft anymore, which kind of sucks.
Those are the best.
The
I
board.
know.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
board.
god, it's so much fun.
I love having the board up. You get to go put whatever name you picked right there on yours. Like
We did a
that's so
pool
nice.
party once where we had the draft board at the pool,
Nice.
and like you'd have to jump off the diving board to announce your pick.
Yo, no way, that is Brian. Spud's coming
Brian.
with 100 biddies. Sheesh, bro. Chill.
Face reveal for her. I've got like 4 emotes that's my face. I've used face cam like 5 times. She's like, face reveal.
It's about time you showed yourself.
It's about time I let everybody know what I look like. Sorry guys.
He just didn't want everybody to see his piano and think like that he could be a mark, you know, like don't
Hey,
dox
man.
him, folks.
I need
It's
people
very-
thinking I'm poor, so they send bits, dude. I don't want them seeing that piano. You know what I
Don't
mean?
fucking say that on air. What the hell?
Those.
What is it? Bits are expected, not
Bits are
appreciated.
expected, but never appreciated.
Better donate, or I'm not streaming. No more rocket racing.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Oh shit!
Great. Now I'm clipped. Oh man.
Oh, that'd be a trip, man.
Are there any of your fantasy drafts that you hate?
No,
No.
I'm pretty happy with mine. I had 4.
Confident and happy with all of
I
them.
am so confident in our THF fantasy football team, dude.
If anything, the league that I run, I'm not very confident in.
This is the first year where I've literally been happy with all of my fantasy teams that I've drafted. Like a couple of them actually even surprised me a little bit. Like I was like, I got to the end and I was like, man, I really like this team. I was like, huh, I wasn't expecting that.
Did you not say that with the THF draft? I feel like you didn't say that after that one.
No, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the one you were
Yeah, I
talking
was like,
about.
I got to the
Yeah,
end
I like
of the,
this team.
and I was like, man, I didn't think I was going to be that happy with my team, but I
Nice.
did. Yeah, I was very happy with my team. Now, whether it shows up in results is another. So who's the star of your teams? Like what big name players? What studs you guys got?
We're referring to our THF teams, correct?
Yeah, or any of your
Yeah.
teams. Just
I
what
mean, that's the
who-
important ones.
I have yes. I would. I mean, I have so many leagues that I have a little bit from all of them. So, you know, I got Caleb Williams in one. I got Marvin Harrison in one. I got
Hey
James
there.
Daniels in one.
Yeah, I have CD Lamb in 2 of my 3 leagues, and he's my favorite player in the NFL right now too. And not just because he's a Cowboy, but I just love CD Lamb.
You should have asked who's got Dak Prescott, because that's going to be the real toss-up this season, and I believe that's also that's right there.
Yeah, I have him in 2 of my 3 leagues as well. I believe. Now I have one where I have them both, and I have one where I have one and not the other. So
I've been pretty high on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've got him in 2 of my leagues, which I didn't necessarily plan on doing, but I feel like he's going to be super good, top 5 at least. And I feel like he's going to have that super good consistency throughout the entire year, especially. So I ended up getting him in 2 out of my 3 leagues. And also Kyron Williams. I'm super freaking high on Kyron Williams, dude. I'm so excited about him. He's punt returning this year. And without injuries, he's going to be at least a top 3 running back. And I think Brees Hall is going to be too. But I haven't got to get him in any of my fantasy teams.
yeah, he was Brees Hall is a sore spot for me because he could have been one of my keepers last year, and I dropped I dropped him instead of keeping him, and than he did pop off last year, and a lot of people have him like as a
I
top
heard
3
someone make
player
that
in
comment to
fantasy
you
this
during the
year.
draft. They were like,
Yeah.
"Man, how'd letting Brees Hall go for you?" They're
Yeah,
Wakko.
because that was Aerodark, and he got him. Speaking of the devil, he's right there to come rub it in my face.
I tell you what, with me, that was Tank Dell last season. I think it was like week 3 or something. Janu offered me like a straight up trade for Tank Dell for T Higgins. And I'm like, bro, Tank Dell for T Higgins. Come on, I know T Higgins slipping, but bro, he's got Joe Burrow throwing to him. Come on now. And then, yeah, that was my big regret. I wish I would have taken that trade. That would have been nice to have Tank Dell on my team right now because I would have kept him. So yeah,
I would have liked to have T Higgins this year, but last year I wouldn't have liked to have him. Definitely.
I picked him back up, but I don't know if he's gonna. It's a toss up with me with him.
I am high on Jaden Daniels and Bijan. Those two. I think he'll do well. Kirk Cousins, just like all the other running backs.
You drafted
Kirk-
Bijan last year, didn't you, in our league?
Yep.
Yeah,
THF league?
yeah. Him, Amon-Ra, and Jameer Gibbs were my keepers.
Oh yeah, nice. That's a nice set.
Picked up Nick Chubb, so I can get him for next year, second half of this year.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think Jaden Daniels is going to be pretty good. I think he might be rookie of the year.
Right on.
Oh,
Earlier question that popped off in the chat that sorry, IB. And I should have said that in the intro. This is every Tuesday night at 8:30 is the THF Extra Point. So if you enjoy talking football and enjoy talking fantasy football, not only can you find us obviously BSing about it 24/7 in the THF Discord, but we'll have this show every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time for those that are scattered about the world. Carry on.
I was gonna say I know tight ends this year and last year were kind of sparse. Getting any points off of them, it was either Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, or there wasn't a lot that was getting points. But I think this season the 2 tight ends that I'm looking at that I'm riding high on is Cole Kmet. With Cole Kmet, man, one thing that a lot of rookie quarterbacks will do is when they're under pressure, they will throw the ball down, chuck it straight down to the tight ends. They have that safety net of a tight end. And so I don't know, Cole Kmet might not be the best tight end all around, but I think he's going to get a lot of passing attempts coming in all day from Caleb Williams.
I had him in one
it's
of
gonna
my
be a lot of
leagues
pressure
last year. He was consistent. He was a great. I think I ended up picking him up at some point. So
it's gonna be the same thing with Chig Okonkwo in Tennessee. I mean, Will Levis is basically a rookie coming in.
Oh yeah,
year. So, and he's a young tight end too. That's really under the radar right now.
Yeah, tight ends are always
dude.
that one position that man, you better get a good one early because tight ends that score, tight ends that do score big. You know, like they're worth sticking it out. Used to be that was a throwaway position. Like you didn't really care too much about the tight end position.
Have Antonio Gates.
Yeah, outside of him,
the days.
it was like the only tight end back in the day that was worth a damn.
See, for me, every single year for about 10 years, I drafted Jason Witten.
Yep. Jason Witten was another.
As soon as I had
he was a safety net. He was Tony Romo's oh shit button. He get pressure, you got to scramble out. Oh shit, boom, hit Jason Witten.
He was my tight. I picked him every year.
No, I was gonna say I think that's gonna be. I think that'll be Tyler Conklin this year also. Tyler Conklin. I don't think he's another top end out there, but I think Aaron Rodgers is a good enough quarterback that he will.
He doesn't. He will tight ends though.
He doesn't, but what is he looking at with his wide receivers this season? All you hear right now is drama between him and his wide receivers dropping passes left and right. Everybody's dropping passes. He can't connect with any of his players. He's being a big diva about it. Well, he's got to throw to somebody. So, I mean, big tight end in the red zone. I don't know. I see Tyler Conklin getting a lot of touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I've taken him a lot in best ball for sure.
I've
taken Ben Sinnott a lot in late rounds, like super, super late rounds. I'm talking like last round of the draft. is because of that upside with Jaden Daniels, like you're saying. Rookie quarterback coming in might give a little bit to the tight end. So I've been a little bit high on him too. It's kind of rough this year for tight ends. Like if you don't get one in like round 4, round 5, or whatever by that time, after Kyle Pitts, it's
you're
just
throwing
like
the dice at that point.
yeah.
You're better off
Yeah.
just what is it you call it, Wakko? Every single week, just rotating like you do with the kickers. You're better off just doing that if you can't get a good tight end.
Yeah.
Play the waivers.
You stream the kickers.
Yeah, stream
Yeah,
them.
that's
You're better off just
Yeah.
streaming the tight ends, man. Just pick a bad defense each week and pick whatever tight ends going up against them.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll stream kicker, defense, defensive player, if we have it, which we do have that in the THF Fantasy Football League this year. We added that. That's one of the new things for our league this year is we have individual defensive player. Usually I'll stream that. Man, some people will. Have you ever played where you stream your quarterback? Like that, I've done that. I've done
Because
that.
of injury, maybe not. Otherwise, no.
Yeah,
I have
or-
been in a position where I had to, and it is miserable.
Yeah,
It
last
can
year
be.
after
It
the
can
season.
be.
Especially if
Yeah.
you get a bad waiver pick and somebody else picks up the only good quarterback before you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it could get crazy at some of those positions, but yeah, tight end is definitely one that some people will stream it based on the matchups. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense if you're not one of the first four or five people to grab one. Of course, I feel like there's starting to be a little bit more tight ends showing up that are good receivers too, because we got. You got Schultz down in Houston. The Cowboys have a pretty decent tight end. The guys that took Schultz's place when he left.
Jake Ferguson now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ferguson. I couldn't think of his.
That's
I
what I
was having
picked
a
up.
brain fart.
I picked up Jake Ferguson in the THF league.
And
I
then
got Chigakonkwo.
in Baltimore, you got Mark Andrews and the other guy. They're gonna run a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Didn't what's his face leave Baltimore this year too? Their backup tight end was Isaiah Likely or
No, he's still there.
He's still there. I thought I saw he left.
No, he's
Yeah.
still back up there.
He was good. Yeah, he was definitely worth keeping. When Mark Andrews went down, he was great. I thought it was crazy of them to let him go, but hey, if they didn't,
Damn. There's everybody welcome 7 Sly to the conversation.
If there's a
Didn't
money
take
line for it, I would probably take it.
long.
yeah, I would too. I
That's
would
coming
too.
from a Cowboys fan.
Listen, I'm gonna say this the very first podcast, and because once the football season starts, I'm gonna root for the Cowboys every week. But while I still have a realistic brain in my head, I'm just gonna say it. This season do not think the Cowboys are gonna make it to the playoffs. I really don't. I'm gonna root
At
for us.
all.
I'm gonna hope for us. I every single game I expect us to win. We are that type of team. But I do not think the Cowboys are gonna make it to the playoffs this year.
No, you're the stereotype, Lobster. This is why
yeah.
people don't like Cowboys fans.
Exactly. This is our year. This is our year.
But there's no reason why it's our year, so you can't even
Last year should have been our year, okay? But last year wasn't our year, and then this year we lost a bunch of good players. So if last year wasn't our year and our team is worse than it was last year, I mean, do I got to finish that sentence?
I
Look,
think
yeah,
we'll be
do
good
it.
enough to get to the playoffs, but I don't think we'll be good enough to win and advance in the playoffs. And if we did, it would be random as hell that we have a worse team and we get farther. I just don't think it makes any sense,
Look,
especially with
for-
all the other competitive teams.
I mean, Philly's got that division in the bag, really.
I think so, honestly. What is it? You won't hear me saying
I don't know
any of
about
this when the
Philly
season
either.
starts, dude. When the season starts, man, and my brain goes back to the Cowboy 24/7, I'll be back to the fuck the Eagles. The Cowboys got this. We're Super Bowl bound. But right now, I think the Eagles got it.
Okay, that's the one F word. If we say it again, we're gonna be R-rated.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. It's okay.
nighttime
It's
stream.
okay. It's okay. We're not
Where's
Disney.
Q after dark?
Yeah, where's
Right.
Q after?
Where's that
Q?
guy?
Oh, yeah.
Penis.
He needs to come tell us about his fantasy football team.
As usual, what Q starts doing. It's Q after dark, just yelling penis.
Does he? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
He was racing with me one time, man. He was on. It was awesome. I was laughing so hard. I was streaming, and it was like every 20 seconds, penis. That's what my penis said. She
Oh
liked
my-
my penis. I was like, you, dude.
Okay, that doesn't sound like fantasy football talk.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. That was Q talk.
Oh, jeez. What else fantasy football related we want to chat about before? Because the next thing we're going to talk about is these tier lists that we made. And we're gonna get into what we think about the teams IRL, like beyond fantasy.
I want to
Yeah.
at least say real fast. I think first week of fantasy football, I got Daddy Dabs, and me and Daddy Dabs are rivals. And so I think this is really going to set the tone this season.
Look at the matchup right now.
Oh yeah, look at the matchup. I don't even have a kicker, and it still says I'm
I
gonna
know.
beat you.
Once you get a kicker, you'll be the favorite, but it'll be
Yeah.
very small. Like the margin's pretty small.
It is,
It's
but
as small as it's been since we started this rivalry.
yeah,
That's what
true.
she said.
He's pretty much had it in the bag.
That's what she always says.
We split the series
every
usually
freaking
year.
season, dude. Yeah, and it's
He
annoying.
usually
as hell.
takes the first, and I somehow squeak the second.
That's what kept me out of the playoffs this last season. I lost to Dabs. I needed one more win, and I was making the playoffs. So I lost to Dabs, and the very next week I lost to Wakko, and then the season was over.
Yeah, in Janu's league, I played
Cool.
against Lobster in the first round.
You playing the
Yeah,
whole
I think
family.
if as long as my team stays healthy, I mean, it was like last season, guys. I almost made it to the playoffs, and I didn't have Justin Jefferson for 9 weeks. Just my starting three: Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, and Christian McCaffrey. Come on, man. Come on. As long as each one of them just have a normal week, that's almost like 70 to 80 points. for
Well,
me.
now you don't know now.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that
As
was
long as they
last
stay
year.
healthy. As long as they stay healthy, Christian McCaffrey has always put up points. Lamar Jackson's always put up points. Justin Jefferson with the quarterback situation, who knows? But he's still always put up points. I mean, he was one of the
Justin
top wide receivers
Jefferson-
last season and missing 9 weeks.
Justin Jefferson was a stud last year until he started having injury
Injured,
problems.
yeah.
I
He
had
injured his leg 9 freaking weeks. He was out.
in my auction league last year. I had Jamar Chase as my keeper, and I spent the farm. And he was a cheap keeper for me because I got him like 2 years before that, like when he was a nobody yet, and so I got him on the cheap, and so I kept him. And I only had to give him a 10% raise. Well, last year was the last year I could keep him. But anyway, last year I had Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb because since I didn't have any money tied up in Jamar Chase, I spent the farm on just
I remember
CeeDee.
that. I remember
Yeah.
that watching that draft.
That was a sick. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah,
And
that was cool.
I ended up because Justin Jefferson went down and Burrow got hurt. Jamar
Played
Chase
like
wasn't,
trash.
Yeah.
and I ended up going into the toilet bowl and winning the toilet bowl and just winning my money back. And it was like so I was like, I've won this league. I've won this league. You're like, you can't like, and it started off. I was in first place through a lot of it, and then it.
I don't think Trey Lance is ready at 7. I don't think he is. That
Didn't he not
preseason
get
game,
the backup spot also?
I don't think he did, and I also think the last preseason game he started, he had 5 interceptions. So I think he's gonna be a lot worse than Dak coming in. And if we have an injury, I'd rather him be third string than second string. I think he has the potential. He can run really good, but as far as like picks and stuff like that, it's going to be a pretty big issue if he's doing that to second string, third string players.
He's third string. He didn't even get the backup spot. He ain't gonna play this year.
Yeah, for sure. I guess this kind of leads into what we're doing next already, since we're talking about all the teams and stuff like that. But I think the Falcons are going to have a extreme year with Kirk Cousins starting. I
Can you
think
pull up that visual before we get too
Hey.
into it?
Can I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
say real fast? Sorry, apparently this didn't go through the chat, but I got a Discord message. Thank you so much, Maddie, for the sub. Maddie apparently just subbed to my chat. I really appreciate that, Maddie. Sorry, we aren't like reading chat, but I do appreciate the sub, even though I can't answer that.
We can
Anyway.
see it, we can see it all, Maddie. Don't let him bullshit you.
I can't see. I don't have the chat up. I just see us four. I'm looking
If
at
you-
the four of us. That's what I'm
But
looking
if
at.
you go to comments, we can see every single
Where's
one.
where do you go? Where's the comments at? This is my first time ever doing
You
this.
go,
Dad.
there's private chat where
Oh,
we
on
can
the
talk
right-
shit
on the right-hand side at the
Maddie,
top.
and then you go
Oh
to
shit!
comments.
242 comments. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, there we go.
There, now he can see everything.
I can see
you're
the
putting.
chat now. Okay, I can see the chat now. Holy crap!
Dude, I
seen
did the
any
same
chat this
thing. The
entire
first
time.
podcast, I had no idea how they were reading chat, and I realized, oh,
Yeah,
shit, we're in
I was
private
like,
chat.
"What are you talking
There were
about, dude? I don't see
comments.
chat. How would I know that she's subbed? I can't see chat."
We
Yeah.
do that. We did that on purpose so he wouldn't read chat.
Yeah, that's
we all know how distracted he gets when he reads chat and plays Rocket Racing. He's like 10 times better when he's not streaming.
That's very true. That's very true.
But yeah, I was saying the Falcons, I think they're going to be a super sleeper team this year. I could see the Falcons going into the playoffs, maybe even championship game. A little stretch. But listen, though, Drake London. So look at how Kirk Cousins produced with Justin Jefferson. You don't think he can do the same thing with Drake London?
Well, he didn't get Jefferson to the NFC Championship. Why is he getting Drake London to the NFC Championship?
I think Drake London is young. I think he's a stud. I think with Kirk Cousins, he's going to produce, especially for fantasy, if not in real life. And I think that team's going to pop off. I think Bijan Robinson's going to be the number 1 or number 2 RB this year. And he's extremely talented. They got a full stacked roster now. All they needed was a quarterback. The past few years with Drake London, they've had a trash quarterback every single year.
What about Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, I think Kyle Pitts will have a pretty good year too. I think for me, he's lesser on the list of people on that team that are going to pop off, but I've taken Kyle Pitts a lot in my best balls, so I could see it happening with him. I just think he's going to be like maybe second or third most fantasy points on that team. I think Drake London or Bijan's going to be on the top there.
Yeah, I went on that date with Kyle Pitts the last 2 years, and I will not be burned by him again. So.
Not a third time.
I get it.
We are never, ever getting back together.
If there's any time it's going to happen, it would be now. Like, if it doesn't happen this year, I would never say that.
That really sounds like a jilted lover.
Yeah, I get it being hurt by players like that, dude. I freaking had Mostert the year before he popped off and had his best season ever because he kept getting freaking injured. I was like, dude, this guy's an old man. He's probably going to be second string next year. I'm not going to take him again. And then people started starting Mostert and a chain on the next freaking year, and they were both popping off every game. That's how I feel about Mostert. I just don't take him anymore. I'm like, bruh, F you. I hope you get injured again. What the hell,
that's why Keenan Allen ruined me for him. That same way. It felt like every time I needed that guy, he was pulling a hammy. It was like, dude, tripped over a blade of grass. And when Digital Navy drafted him, last year or the year before, I was like, bro, I can't believe you took him. Like, I had Mike Williams on my team, though. I was like, well, and he ended up being the same way.
Mike Williams could be a stud this year too, because from training camp, I've heard he's been taking like 40 to 50% of the balls from Garrett Wilson. So they could be splitting. And with Aaron Rodgers there could be games where Mike Williams is wide receiver 1. So I've been taking him a lot in deeper picks because he could have extreme value. And he's super young, super talented, just like Garrett Wilson is too.
Yeah, he was many times he was better than Keenan Allen to have, but he was the same thing. He couldn't stay on the field. He was always pulling a hamstring, out for a game, or if he's out there, he's not 100%. And yeah, it's he's one of those injury history, large, lengthy injury history wide receivers that it's just they're tough to rely on.
Yeah, I would be kind of nervous about Keenan Allen just because of kind of like in the Texans offense, how they have so many offensive. Yeah, I think Tank Dell is going to be kind of similar to what Roma Dunze is going to be this year. I think they're both rookies. They're going to target each other a lot. I think Keenan Allen will have great games, but I think he's also going to have games where he's going to be a dud. I think DJ Moore is going to be wide receiver 1, and then there's going to be games where Keenan Allen has those up weeks and those, pretty bad down weeks. So it's kind of hard to tell But that I think that team's going to be really good. By the way, with the Bears, I think they're going to have a pretty good season. I think it was you or one of y'all put the Bears as not making the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
they're
let's
going
go
to
ahead and
win
bring
and get
that up.
very far, but I think they will.
Yeah, because we definitely have. This is our tier list, and from top to bottom, the categories are Super Bowl favorites, Super Bowl contenders, playoff teams, potential wild cards, missing the playoffs teams, and mediocre at best is at the bottom of each list there, and yeah, the middle definitely gets pretty sketchy. None of us are matching. Well, me and Dabs are matching at the very top.
I will
Uh,
say we all have the Lions to at least make it to Super Bowl contenders. That's one thing we all agree on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All four of us have Lions either Super Bowl or contenders.
Yeah, I think they take a step forward. Or stay at least. I mean, they were really good. They were a Super Bowl contender last year, and I think they continue that. I don't think they go backwards at all. I think they're definitely they're one of the teams that's for real in the hunt again this year. The only reason I have San Francisco and Kansas City at the top is because Kansas City just won the Super Bowl and they got better. And so that's huge. I mean, they were already coming off one of the worst regular seasons in Patrick Mahomes' career, and they still won the Super Bowl, and they went and got better in the offseason. So to me, they're instantly like the favorite. They are the team to beat. And San Francisco being the one that lost to them, and I don't. There's no reason for me to believe that they're not going to be just as good as they were last year. Not a single reason.
Yeah, I definitely think it's 100% a fair take to see Chiefs go into the Super Bowl again. But for me, I think, and this is just a personal take, it doesn't have to make, a crazy amount of sense, but I think the only way that they don't make it this year is if they have one of those crazy upsets where a team just comes in there that's not supposed to, beats them, kicks them out, because the Chiefs, they take it every year. Also, I just don't want to see the Chiefs and Niners in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah,
I
that's
just think
not the
it's a
Super Bowl
basic
I
take.
want to see.
So I respect it.
The
If I'm
Chiefs
going
are
to
the new
be,
Patriots, just every single year rotating into the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
don't want to
gonna
see a
be,
round 3 of this matchup.
yeah, I mean, I don't either. But honestly, if I were to take like a realistic approach, it'd probably be Chiefs and Lions. But as like my take, what I think is going to happen in my heart, I think I'm taking Texans and Lions,
Yep.
and maybe Chiefs bring it back next year. But yeah,
I mean, eventually the Chiefs are not gonna win, right? They are gonna be that team that gets bounced and surprisingly in the first round or their first round if they're the first round bye. I mean, eventually it's gonna happen to them, right? Like every team has a bad season, even though they've got great talent. Look at the Cowboys for the last 28 years. So like seriously, eventually they aren't gonna have a miracle run. The Patriots, even as good as they were for a decade, they didn't win every year. So if we're putting the Kansas City on par with the Patriots dynasty, which they are getting dangerously close to being, they're going to lose some years too. Why not this year? Because the AFC has got. I honestly had the biggest problem moving around my AFC teams because I feel like there are so many teams in the AFC that are better. Like the skill gap is closer together or closer to the top across the AFC, whereas the NFC, I feel like you got good teams and you got bad teams. The AFC doesn't have as many bad teams, I don't feel like.
NFC East, perfect example. Eagles, Cowboys, good. Giants, Redskins, bad.
Awful. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And hell, in the NFC, we got one division that's all awful. Well, I mean, depending on who you are, don't kill me, Boltman. But I mean, somebody's got to win the division, but all the teams are not really that great. Like Tampa Bay, New Orleans, what is it? Seahawks and who else? Falcons, right? Falcons, Seahawks, Tampa Bay, and
I don't remember off the top of my head.
anyway, that division. It's like that's the only reason I have Tampa Bay up there as a playoff team again this year is because somebody has to win that division, even though all four teams are pretty mediocre. You know,
So I
somebody
think
ought
it's
to.
going to be the Falcons.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, I had a hard time putting the Falcons as low as I did. Because I tend to agree with you too. But when I was making this list, I wasn't really thinking about the Falcons. But I think they're trending upwards too, just like Chicago is.
One sleeper pick that I see, I agree, or sorry, that I disagree a lot with you guys is the Panthers, which I get why, because the Panthers have been bad. They had a terrible season last year, but there's a couple points that I wanted to make about that. I don't think the Panthers are going to be a freaking playoff team or anything like that. But I do think they're going to have at least like a 7-8 season or something like that, or at least go even. And the reason why is because of all the upgrades they've made. They took round one wide receiver and RB. Keep in mind the RB is injured right now. They took round ones for RB and wide receiver. Their rookie QB is now on their second year, and he's going to be improving. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be amazing, but they're improving. And I think with all the weapons they have, with Adam Thielen still being there, and he's going to be one of their worst weapons, I think they're going to be stacked. They got Deontay Johnson now, and I think the Panthers, with 7, so I think the Panthers are definitely going to be way better than the Patriots. Like I said, don't think they're going to be a playoff team. I also think the Broncos are going to improve a lot. What I've seen with Bo Nix from the preseason, I think Cortland Sutton could low-key actually be a real sleeper pick in drafts, especially in best ball, because I think he could actually have weeks where they produce a lot with that new quarterback. And sometimes you don't even need someone that's the next freaking, Caleb Williams is here. That's the round one draft pick. You just need something new that's refreshing. And I know Cortland Sutton's going to be looking to really prove himself in that wide receiver one role. I think they're going to kill it there. I think they're going to run the hell out of the ball. And I think Jaleel McLaughlin's going to have a good season. So honestly, I'm kind of the opposite. I think the Saints are going to be like the worst of the bunch. And I think it's going to be like Tampa and Atlanta kind of fighting for that spot there.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think it's going to be between Tampa and Atlanta. I think Atlanta will probably take the division, though.
I think so. As long as Kirk stays healthy, I can see it 100%. I don't think the Bucks are bad, but
the Bucks could squeak in a wild card on some like weird standings at the end where they might not have the best record, but somehow they squeak in. Or I don't
When
know.
you're in a crappy division like that, though, man, you can kind of squeak in with bad records.
You can squeak in if you win the division. A wild card's not coming from that division.
So they might. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they can fight. Maybe they can put up enough of a fight against.
When you
I don't know.
Look at the NFC East, where you've got Cowboys and Philly that are definite playoff teams. You got the NFC North, where you got Green Bay, Chicago, possibly a case for Minnesota, all fighting for second place, right behind the Lions. Like, there's no room for a playoff team to come from that pathetic division. Like, Atlanta or Tampa Bay is probably going to win that division, and with an even record of 9-8 or 8-9. Just like they did last year. That's what Tampa Bay won the division with, was 9-8.
Yeah.
I think also the Cardinals, same as kind of the Panthers. I don't think they're going to be the worst, but I think they're going to be kind of mediocre. I think really having Marvin Harrison on that team as such a high prospect, I think he's going to get all the receptions, which even if you think he's not as good as he says he is, and how he's done in preseason or whatever, I think that Kyler Murray is good enough to feed him the ball, and I think he's going to feed for fantasy. IRL might be a little bit different, but I think that Kyler and Marvin Harrison are going to be elite in fantasy. this year.
I disagree with that. I'm like exact opposite side of that. I think that Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray, the best or the connection they're going to have is going to be on the console when they're playing video games together. I think that's the best connection those two are going
Play
to
Call of
have.
Duty, bro.
That's all. That's the only connection they're going to have with each other, man. I really think that. I think Kyler Murray is quick on his feet. I don't think he's got the arm to be talented enough to. I don't know. Like I said, that's why I don't know. I think Marvin Harrison's got talent. I think he's getting talked up a bit because of his name and who his dad is and all that. I think he's getting talked up a bit. I think on that team though, I don't see him going off. I think if it was swapped positions with Xavier Worthy, I think Marvin Harrison would have an amazing season. But on the same side, I think Xavier's nothing but speed, so I don't see him doing much this season either. I see him being another Sky Moore. He'll go over to Kansas City as a really high potential rookie where everybody's looking at him and they're going to draft him high and they're going to want to keep him. And then I don't see him putting up any points for like 2 or 3 seasons. Good points, consistent. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I don't see him being a high first round draft pick type player in fantasy football.
Well, for me, it's like who else on that team is going to take the targets? You know what
Travis
I'm saying?
Kelce? That's what they always do.
I'm talking about Marvin Harrison.
Oh, Marvin Harrison.
I think they'll
Who else on that
connect,
team's
but
gonna
I
take
just think their
targets?
team.
No, on that side, yeah, who's going to take the targets, but who's going to throw it to him? I don't think Kyler Murray's got the arm to throw consistently to him like that.
He's
Man.
been
Like,
in the NFL for a
Put
minute.
Marvin Harrison on another team, I think he would do good. I don't know. I just don't think Kyler Murray.
If he's good enough, he'll make it work like Justin Jefferson was able to make it work, like Odell can make it work.
Yeah, because I mean, the
I just don't think
Vikings,
Arizona's a good team. I don't think
That's
they're,
where I'm at,
yeah,
dude.
they're not.
Yeah,
What they win
I don't
last
think
year?
they're
4
enough.
games, I think.
yeah.
and they're gonna have to
With
keep
the
up with San
Dominator.
Francisco and Seattle.
The Dominator.
who's now on the 49ers, by the way, he's going to be a freaking stud if Purdy gets injured, which I'm freaking hoping. Which,
Who?
of course, I don't
Come
want
on,
anyone to get
stop
hurt.
it.
I'm
If the
Stop
Dominator
it.
plays
I'm
for the
hoping.
49ers, it's going to be elite, bro. Dobbs
my
is going to
God.
pop off. He's going to be a crazy backup quarterback. I'm telling you, bro.
If you can't if you can't put up stats when you got Justin freaking Jefferson on your team, you're done, bro. You're done. Dominator had that opportunity, bro.
You're a Dominator hater, dog.
He came back crashing
ain't
back
lying,
to
though,
earth,
dude.
bro.
He ain't lying, man. Whenever you got Justin Jefferson to throw to, he's one of those players, man, where all you got to do is put that ball anywhere within 5 yards of him, and he's catching it. Like 90% of the time. He's like CeeDee Lamb. When you see CeeDee Lamb put his hands up and that ball hits him right in the hands and then goes straight to the ground, in your mind, you don't go like, oh, fucking CeeDee, good job. You're like, whoa, what was that? Like, it's okay, CeeDee. Doesn't happen often. That was a little rare. It was okay, though. And that's like Justin Jefferson. He catches it so much that when he drops it, it's actually surprising to see him drop passes.
Who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver this year? When it's
If
all
he
said and
doesn't
done?
get injured, Justin Jefferson, hands down.
You think it will be him again?
I think so. I haven't said this about a lot of people, but I think Justin Jefferson is one of those like Barry Sanders like positions. He's gonna, if he stays healthy with how young he is, I think he's gonna be like Hall of Fame, easy, top in the wide receiver charts every single season. Like,
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was going to leave the league way too early. You said Barry Sanders.
no, I just meant like he's gonna be on a crappy team that's not gonna take him to
I
any Super
got you.
Bowls. But he's got hella talent and he's gonna shine even though he's with bad teams.
Right. Okay.
Gotta
Now I'm
be-
picking up what you're laying down. I was really
Yeah.
confused. I was like, he's going to quit early?
No, it's got to be. I think it's going to be either CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, or Amon-Ra. And I think Jefferson will be on that cusp of top wide receiver. I don't think he'll be number 1 per se. Obviously, if he had an elite quarterback, I think Jefferson gets top 1 or 2 easily, like all day long.
Yeah.
But with the offense they're going to be running with, I'm just not too sure on it. I don't think Jefferson deserves to go to round 2 or anything like that. People have been skipping him in drafts all the time. I don't think it makes that much
Yeah,
sense.
that doesn't make any
That's
sense to me.
crazy.
But
I think it's gonna be Amon-Ra as well. I
The
think he's
dude
gonna
got
be
like
the guy.
7th or 8th overall last season for wide receiver rankings, and he missed half the season.
I got
Like-
it.
Yeah.
On
Like that,
CD, I would not be surprised with CD, but that is on Dak.
Yeah, I think CD is going to start slow, but I think he'll, like last season, kind of come back and make it work again. Because I don't think they're going to be terrible, just out of nowhere. And CD's just all of a sudden not going to be a top wide receiver again. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think he hasn't been practicing with the team as much, and they need to build that connection again. And I think once that does happen, he's going to come back and put up those points again.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's definitely gonna be CD.
I mean, look at my jersey,
It's gonna be CD.
the 88.
CD's another one of the people that I really hope for to have an amazing season. Like I said, this is going to be the only podcast you'll hear me talk negatively about the Cowboys, because once the season starts, all I can do is talk good about them. I expect the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they will, though. I expect them to because they're the fucking Cowboys. They got CeeDee Lamb, we got Parsons, we brought Zeke back, we got Dalvin Cook on our practice squad, we got fucking Dak.
And if this was 2016, that'd be a fucking awesome team.
Yeah, I think honestly, I still think the only reason why we picked Zeke back up for the Cowboys was for two reasons. One, he knew the team, so he could very quickly just come in here, fit well with everybody, not have to have that period of, well, how does Dak do the handoffs? How does Dak do his play actions? How do I look for this? When does Dak scramble? He doesn't have to look for that shit. He's played with Dak. He knows it. He knows all that shit.
Rico Dowdle's starting, so let's freaking go, man.
Hey, let's go, dude.
Down in his tank, man.
Let's
I'm ready
go.
to see it. I'm all in on starting new players. I know he's not a rookie, but he hasn't started really, so I'm all in on that. Of course, when we get to the end zone, they're probably going to give it to Elliott. So I'm not sure on a fantasy perspective. Yeah, he's going to get vultured for sure. But in IRL football, I'm ready to see that. I hope Rico Dowdle's good.
Yeah, you're definitely not hanging your fantasy hats on any running backs from Dallas.
No,
that's
not really.
That's that old three-headed monster crap that you avoid like the plague in fantasy football.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think of the Titans? I haven't really heard your opinion much on the Titans. Like, for real.
The Titans this season, I mean, honestly, dude, I feel like if the Titans ever had a chance at doing anything, it was with Derrick Henry, and now they don't have Derrick Henry anymore. So the Titans are, I don't know, they're a back burner team for me right now. And no offense to you, I know they're your team. It's just
I take offense to that.
Yeah, just I don't
He's
know.
not married to him.
I feel like
they're gonna I'm not gonna lose my
How
house
fucking
if they
dare
don't win the
you.
Super Bowl.
No, but I mean, I feel like honestly, like with the Cowboys last year, the Cowboys, if we had a chance at winning the Super Bowl, was last year, and then our team is worse this year. That's why I don't see us winning the Super Bowl, because we couldn't last year.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the same with the Titans. If you couldn't win it with Derrick Henry, how are you going to win it without Derrick Henry?
I think it's a good thing. I think they're evolving. They got Cincy's offensive coordinator who, made their offense very well with Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase. So I think they're not making the playoffs. They're not making 500. But,
yeah,
and they'll do it. It's a good year for them all to kind of get into the new thing. They got the young running backs.
I was going to say
taller, and then they got Tyjae Spears, who's quick. They got Calvin Ridley, and they paid Calvin Ridley more than they could have paid AJ Brown, which makes no fucking sense there.
I got one word for Titans, and I think their team is going to be sporadic. I think that's the way to describe it, because I don't think they're going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be great. I think they'll end up in the middle, and their team's all new on offense. It's all new players. So I think they're going to have weeks where they look like shit, and then they're going to have weeks where you're like, holy crap, Calvin Ridley's fucking him. Tony Pollard's him. Watch him go.
We do have Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins as the wide receivers, so that's not too bad. They're old.
Calvin Ridley is great.
If it was 2020, that'd be great.
Use a line from Dabs. Yep.
But I mean, it depends on Will Levis and the offense. It's all new. They've always been the run it through the middle, and now they're not doing that. They're trying to keep up with everybody. They got to keep up with Houston now.
2 words why I don't think the Titans will be doing good. Will Levis. I said that during the draft. No offense to him. I don't think Will Levis is going to be the guy. He hasn't been the guy yet. He's not going to be the guy with the Titans.
We'll see. I don't know. I like him, but I like him more than the other Malik Willis. So
Speaking
I like
of
Will Levis.
that team
Boy, he
that's going
has
to be in the
biceps.
Titans' way, Houston, Janu, you have them as a Super Bowl favorite, and so does Digital Navy. I have them as Super Bowl contender. Dabs has them making the
Mm.
playoffs.
Yeah,
He was
I'll
the
So
never
only
put
one that
Houston in the
didn't pick
damn
him.
Super Bowl. Never.
All three of us have him as Super Bowl
They
contender.
could go undefeated, and I will not put them in the Super Bowl.
I mean,
No.
that's a team that is still trending up. I think in a lot of people's minds. Do you
Dude, they're
think they're
the
gonna?
exact opposite of
Do they have?
the rest of the teams.
Huh?
They're the exact opposite of the rest of the teams. The
Yeah,
other
the
teams we've
division.
been talking about, dude, well, that like they were good last year, then they've gotten worse this year, like the Titans and the Cowboys. The Houston Texans were good last year, and they've gotten better this year. They were already a playoff team last year, and then they picked up Stephon Diggs, they picked up Mixon, like they've hella upgraded their offense. Like, dude, you were already a playoff team, and then you did nothing but upgrade your team this offseason. Yeah, I see him going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janu was
CJ is
ahead of
going
the
to plateau
curve with
at some
Houston.
point, though. The sophomore slump is a thing.
No, yeah, no, it could,
It
but
could. I'm not saying it will. I don't know.
this is
I
just my
don't know.
guess.
You also
Looks like
said Ohio quarterbacks don't produce.
They don't. Hey, listen, they're all flash in the pan, man.
I think that it's huge because they have momentum and the whole team's excited. Like they're ready to play with CJ Stroud. They love CJ Stroud. He's a good team player.
they're all
And
young.
D'Amico Ryans is really
all
good,
in
too.
on
I
it.
do like D'Amico Ryans.
They're
They're
such a young team too.
their wide receiver core, in my opinion, is the most stacked in all of football. They're getting rid of like wide receiver 4 and 5s and stuff like that and trying to trade them away because I think it was Mechie is his name. He's like wide receiver 4 or 5 on that team, and he was popping off on preseason. He could be a starter already, but they already have Stephon Diggs, who was a wide receiver 1, and they have Tank Dell, who could be a wide receiver 1 on a different team if they didn't have any other wide receivers of his caliber, and Nico Collins. And he's got all those options. And then last year
Nico
their problem
Collins pick
was
up.
is they didn't have a good running back. Now they got Joe Mixon. Not the best running back in the league, but he's pretty good and he's solid enough to do something. And I don't think they're even going to need to run the ball a lot, but when they do, they got freaking Joe Mixon now. So if
I
CJ
don't think
Stroud
Joe
can
Mixon
stay
will be running the
healthy,
ball.
looks scary. I don't
I'm
think he
higher
will.
on the Dolphins.
Who's the wide receiver 1 for the Texans at the end of the year?
I think that it's Nico
Stephon
Collins.
Diggs. I think it's Stephon Diggs.
After
Nico
Diggs
Collins.
was kind of fell off in Buffalo with Josh Allen.
What I've said
And-
with Diggs, what I think is he's going to do is at the start of the season, give him 3-4 weeks. I think he's going to slow it down. But then that veteran presence with a young quarterback, getting to know him a bit better, talking to him. And I mean, it's Stephon Diggs, dude. He's got a name to be reckoned with anyway. I think not even halfway through the season, he's going to start picking up and being the old Stephon Diggs. I think by the end of the year, he'll be wide receiver 1 there.
So why wasn't he the old Stephon Diggs last year in Buffalo?
Him and fucking what's his face, Josh Allen. They've been butting heads for a couple seasons, dude. I really do think it is.
They just can't get on the same page all of a sudden.
There's been that whole thing where Stephon Diggs has not said it directly, but Trayvon Diggs and other people have said it multiple times that the only reason that Josh Allen had any talent was because he had Stephon Diggs to throw to. And Stephon Diggs was never like, well, that's not true. He just kind of was like, I never said that.
So
I
does
mean,
Buffalo take a giant step back this year without him?
I don't
I
think
think-
so.
I think Buffalo's going to be fine without him.
They
I
got
think Josh
Keon
Allen's
Coleman.
a talented quarterback, yeah, and they got wide receivers. They got people.
Keon
to throw
Coleman's
to.
going to be huge, man. I'm
They'll
telling you. It
still
might
be
start off
third in the
slow, but
division.
I don't think they're going to like go to the Super Bowl or anything, but yeah, I think they're going to be good.
it's going to be Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman are all year long. And
Yep.
Khalil Shakir will be a great wide receiver, too. He's insane, too. Like, it was a slept-on value last year. If they didn't draft Keon Coleman, I think Shakir would be that guy, and he's good enough to be wide receiver 1. I think he's kind of slept on. I think they're not going to take a step back. Maybe they actually might be a little bit better than last year, honestly.
They're not making the playoffs.
Buffalo's not making the playoffs. Yeah, you have a potential wild card on your tier list. So yeah, Dabs definitely has him taking a step back. I actually have him as a Super Bowl contender. I think I'm the only one.
Yeah, not me.
I
I
got the
think
Yeah.
my
Dolphins
Super
up
Bowl
there.
contenders were
Dolphins
like
might be in the Super Bowl.
I think Kansas City and San Francisco are two of my Super Bowl contenders because I just didn't want to see them in the Super Bowl, and I honestly think Houston will go to the Super Bowl this year. And if anybody's going to beat Kansas City and San Francisco take that spot, I think it'll end up being the Lions. So like I just saw them there, and I'm not the other two. Of course, I put the Cowboys up there, and then the Ravens they got to be up there.
Yeah, the thing with the Dolphins is their offense is ecstatic, and it's probably going to be better than last year too. Especially if a chain steps up to the RB1 role, I think that they will. The problem is I don't know if their defense is going to be as good as like comparing to the Texans or Ravens. Like the Dolphins' defense has got to be comparable. If they do, I could see it, but compared to like Ravens and Texans and stuff like that on defense, I just don't know.
I think this is their year. I drank the Mike McDaniel's Kool-Aid about 3 years ago.
They're really good.
Yeah.
For
And he is my favorite guy in the NFL. I think, yeah. So
They're definitely locked in
like
for
them.
playoffs, 100%.
I like the Dolphins a lot.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins in the playoffs. Another team we haven't talked about at all is a giant question mark. The Jets. The
With-
Jets
With
with Aaron Rodgers.
with Aaron Rodgers staying like healthy, they are playoff bound. I'm telling you.
That's why I have a potential.
You got
If he
potential
stays
wild
healthy.
card.
Yeah, I have
Purdue
a
has
potential.
some wild card. And Dabs has some wild card. I have them definitely making the playoffs.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers gets injured, I think it's gonna be they're not making the playoffs again.
I put him wild card because I'm that much more behind the Dolphins than I am anybody else in that division. But
Yeah,
I would not be. Shut up, Brian.
Lobster. That's what I'm laughing at. Said he's gonna get hurt running out of the tunnel.
Oh,
If he gets hurt running out the tunnel, Tyrod Taylor fills that role, and he's going to be probably pretty damn good for fantasy if you need a backup quarterback. That's
he
just on a
wasn't.
side note.
Tyrod wasn't bad in a few of his starts in the
like
places that he had to. He gets you by for a couple games. He's no stud. He's not gonna replace a stud like Aaron Rodgers, but he's good for a watch here and there if he gets an opportunity.
Dude, their team is elite
back.
except
Be
for
right back.
quarterback. That's it. Like their defense is elite and their offense is super elite. Brees Hall is really, really, really good. He's definitely like on my list, definitely a top 3 RB, healthy throughout the season. And Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams together, that's oh my god, it's so freaking good. Especially like comp with their defense. Their defense won them a lot of games last year.
They did.
And
They won 7 or 8 games last year. And a lot of that was on the back of their defense. That's why I have them definitely making the playoffs. I don't think they'll be fighting. Well, I don't think if they are fighting for a wild card, which because of the division that they're in, they will be. But I think they'll be one of the first ones to lock it up. Like I don't think that wild card fight lasts long like that. I think they'll clinch the playoffs, before you know what seed they are.
Yeah, I think playoffs for sure with Aaron Rodgers healthy. Maybe not too far in the playoffs for them. Round 2 at the most. After that, I don't think they're going very far.
And I don't know if you guys remember last year, I was saying I was real down on the Jets compared to everybody because I was like, Aaron Rodgers is not the next Tom Brady. He's not going to go to a new team and win them a Super Bowl. Like he's not going to do, the Tampa Bay thing. You gotta watch, he's going to crash and burn. But after seeing what their defense did and what the players Brees Hall turned into and Wilson and now they get Aaron Rodgers when they have all that other stuff already in place. Yeah, I definitely I don't doubt that he can do great things with the Jets this year, which is total 180 from last year.
I
for
still
me.
say if he gets injured, the only thing that they can hope for with them is making a wild card spot, I think. And in their division, they're rocking the division with what was it? They got the Dolphins and the Bills, right? Yeah, the Dolphins and the Bills in their division with them. Like, dude, it's not going to be the easiest division to beat this year. So if they ain't topping out their division, I don't think they're going to be making it to the playoffs. And if they don't have Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they're going to be making it.
Yeah,
Dude.
I don't think that they'll. Yeah, I don't think that they do much better than last year if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt at all, or if he gets hurt, especially if he gets hurt early. I'm talking about assuming Aaron Rodgers does stay
If
healthy.
Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I think they're going to probably be the best in their division. I think they'll actually win a playoff spot like that.
I
Better
think they
than the
could even win it
Bills and the
without Aaron
Dolphins.
if they had
Yeah.
a decent quarterback. I think
Yeah,
Aaron
I
just
think
makes
so.
it even better.
That's what I'm saying.
Aaron
Yeah,
gets hurt, they'll bring over the Dominator.
that's what I'm saying.
God bless it.
I think the Dominator is great in spurts, and when he plays the whole season, then he
Preseason.
kind of like gets tired. But if you have him for like 3 games, like if for some reason Dobbs was on the Jets going in the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers got hurt and he freaking takes them to the Super Bowl, I'm going insane on the podcast.
But then he's going to lose on the Super Bowl because he already got his 2 or 3 games out.
Hopefully that's his second game. You have to hope that's his second game playing.
He comes in second game of the playoffs. Okay, then he
Yeah,
can win the
there you
Super
go.
Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can say that I expect the Jets to beat Buffalo and Miami, but I could see all 3 of those teams making the playoffs. It's tough. Actually, it's tough for me to even say that because I just got done saying how stacked the AFC is, like all the way down, except for the AFC West. The AFC West, I mean, that's like Kansas City and everybody else sucks, But
Yeah.
even look at
Teams, dude.
Indianapolis, Houston, Tennessee sucks. Jacksonville is probably gonna do a
Dabs is
little,
crying.
they're tough,
Tennessee
right?
sucks.
They're not.
Dabs is doing this.
Then you got the AFC North. You got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns. Like, unless you think that Burrow coming back to the Bengals isn't gonna make them better than they were last year. I mean, that's 4 good teams. That's
Yeah.
4 good. Every team in that division is good.
Yeah.
And then AFC East is another one where you got the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills. Patriots suck. So 3 teams, 4 teams, 3 teams, 1 team. Like, that's a lot of teams. They can't all fit in the playoffs. Good teams are going to be left out in the AFC.
There's going to be better teams in the AFC North that make it from the AFC South.
Last
Yeah,
year,
again.
when we were going into the playoffs, there was 2, or who was it? I don't remember off the top of my head, but there was 2 teams at one point that were like 12-3 or 12-4 or some shit like that, and one of them might not have made it into the playoffs because they were in second place in the division behind somebody who had because they had a better ranking than they were, like 12-4 also, but they had beat them in their game, so they had a higher divisional rating. It's like, could you imagine finishing the season with like 12, 13 wins and being like, sorry, you didn't make it to the playoffs? Like, dude, that would be nuts. We lost 5 games this year. We didn't even make it to the playoffs. That's a hard
that'd be
division.
You better.
insane.
I think hot take. I think that the Bears, Caleb Williams, I think he's going to be their guy for a while. I don't know how hot of a take that is, but based off what I've seen of him so far and like his college plays and everything like that, how he's looked, I think Caleb Williams will be a top 10 quarterback for sure. Especially for fantasy, he's got the rushing upside. He's got a cracked offense around him. He's already built a good chemistry with the team. And honestly, their backup, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he played a little bit last year, and he's improved a whole lot in the offseason. Even if Caleb got hurt, I think their backup's even good enough to make the offense pop.
Is he getting Rookie of the Year?
I could see it happening, and it sounds like super glazing, but I do think in the future Caleb Williams could be like that next kind of Lamar Jackson type of guy, like at that caliber for sure.
See, I think
There's a lot
Jaden
to go.
Daniels is more like Lamar.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is pretty good too. It's kind of hard to pick between the two because they both have looked good so far. I just think Caleb Williams is going to be better.
I think if it'll be between those two for Rookie of the Year, and if one gets injured, the other one has it in the bag. But if they don't get injured and it's the whole season, that Caleb Williams will win it.
No.
Yeah, I think
No.
Washington.
The only way Jaden wins it is if Caleb gets hurt, basically.
Washington's kind of just in a worse position, I think, than where the Bears are at. Like, I think the Washington's going to be good, and if we're talking like playoffs, they have to compete with both the Cowboys and the Eagles. And I don't think they're going to
Dang,
make
man.
it. I think they're
Yeah.
going to improve a lot though, and especially for fantasy, I think Jaden Daniels could be, pretty solid. I've taken him on a lot of my best balls too. If I need someone, pretty late, I'll take Jaden Daniels. And I think honestly, the upside for Terry McLaurin could be pretty damn good. I think he's going to focus him a lot, And honestly, it's kind of hard to say with Eckler, but if they, 50-50 him with Eckler, I could see him kind of just dumping it off or whatever on those passes because he's a rookie. So I could see Eckler getting some of those weeks where he has high points or whatever, or maybe Sinnott. So
Eckler's in the same boat that Joe Mixon is. Joe Mixon, he's not going to be in an offense that's going to be running the ball 24/7, I feel like. But Joe Mixon played for the Bengals for so long that he knows how to catch a pass. So, I feel like Joe Mixon's going to be fine scoring points over there. I feel like it's going to be the same way in Washington. Eckler is going to be good at catching the pass over there. I think
Their offense is going to be faster.
That's
Yeah,
how it was
I think he's
for
gonna
him
be
in
great
San
for
Diego,
fantasy.
or I mean,
Yeah.
Chargers too. It's
Exactly.
like,
That's what I'm saying. He was good at fantasy points. He wasn't
he
the
wasn't-
best running back in the NFL, but
He wasn't a
good for fantasy.
100-yard a game rusher. Like you got your PPR. Like he was worthless in non PPR leagues.
Exactly.
He was not a good. He was
And
not a
in
good
our
fantasy
league,
running back.
let me be clear, we run full PPR. So in our league, Austin
Yeah.
Eckler was good for fantasy points.
Right.
I can
right.
see Lad
I think Joe
talking
Mixon will be
about.
the same way.
Speaking of the Chargers, you see Lad McConkey being wide receiver one there for fantasy points at least because he fits into that slot role like Keenan Allen. He fits into that same role that they needed for him. And the only other guy up that they have from there, Joshua Palmer, I don't think he's like a super stud or anything like that. They don't really have anyone else to give the ball to. I think Lad McConkey is going to be that guy. I don't think the Chargers are going to be that good this season, to be honest, by the way.
I don't either.
No, I don't. I'm pretty low on the Chargers too.
Yeah.
What about the Broncos?
They're going to be better.
Because they got a quarterback thing going on. What about Bo Nix? What do you guys think about Bo
I like
Nix?
Bo Nix. Mhm.
Bo
I think
Nix-
Bo Nix is pretty good. Like
don't
I
know
was
anything
saying
about Bo
earlier,
Nix. I know he
I
was
think
good in Oregon,
Cortland-
but
at least from the preseason, from what I've seen, Bo Nix looked pretty good. I think he's going to connect with Cortland Sutton, and I think they're going to have a better connection than with Wilson before. And I think their RB situation is going to pump up a lot. So I've heard that they've been talking about like they're going to have high RB production on that offense. So I haven't paid too much attention to the Broncos, but I think they could potentially be a sleeper team. I'm a little bit more high on the Cortland Sutton thing for fantasy than IRL football. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to have momentum going into next year.
Hey, speaking of these hot takes and predictions, let's pause for a second here because we went out and asked some of our fellow Twitch streamer friends for some hot sports opinions, predictions, whatever about the upcoming season. And some of those were kind of fun to hear. So we put it all in a montage. Let's play that real quick, and that'll and see what kind of hot takes that we can disagree or love or fall. See what they had going on here. Let me get this sucker up here. Hang on. Oops, wrong button. Try this again. I thought I was ready. There we go. You guys hear it?
Yeah.
We asked a handful of our fellow Twitch streamers and friends to give us some hot sports opinions and predictions for the upcoming NFL season. Here's what we got.
Darth, I'm going to predict your guys' season, okay? You're going to be doing really good for half the season, and everybody's going to think Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the world ever to have lived. And then you're going to blow it, and you're not going to make the playoffs. Done.
First, let's talk about if we're gonna make it. Bengals are not making it to the Super Bowl, but we are making the playoffs. We are making the playoffs.
We haven't talked about
Yeah,
the Bengals yet.
14-3. 14-3. 14-3. That's crazy. That's a terrible Bengals prediction, to be honest. I just really have high hopes for my team.
At least he's honest.
Okay. Niners will beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy winning the MVP.
Laser.
This could be like a really hot take because, like I said, I'm not watching the NFL every day. But I wouldn't be too mad if, say, the Texans were to go on and win the whole thing. It would actually be pretty cool.
Now I like
That
this.
is who I would like to see. Even if it's not like, obviously, if the Dolphins went and won the Super Bowl, I would be even more happy. But if I could see the Texans winning it. They look like they're beefing up, and they already had a pretty good season with their team. You know what I mean? I don't know. It could be. I think this season will be definitely interesting.
Hot take prediction or opinion on the upcoming season. Oh, no, I couldn't give you any info. I'll tell you this: the refs are gonna make some bad calls, bro. The refs are gonna make some bad calls, bro.
All right, go. Hot
Regular
sports opinion is this. I think that Dak Prescott's going to have more touchdowns than Mahomes. I think Cowboys somehow pull together and have more touchdowns than Mahomes. That
Cowboys
is
as a
my
whole
thing
have
right
more
there,
touchdown than Mahomes.
Another hot opinion, I think the Eagles are going to crash and burn.
Ooh.
Eagles.
That's a hot
Yeah,
take.
Yes, they have their players, but last season they were mid and fell off in the postseason. I think they are gonna go off a cliff like Skip Bayless and over on his TV show.
Damn, got him.
You're roasting
The
Skip.
Steelers are making it to the Super Bowl this year,
No, they are not.
and it won't be Russell Wilson leading them to the charge. Boom, I said it. Steelers, Super Bowl bound, no Russell Wilson.
Justin Fields.
No Russell Wilson.
Right?
You think Justin Fields gonna take them to the Super Bowl, bro?
Right?
I'm not really going to go with a prediction, but I have really good hopes for the Atlanta Falcons doing okay. I feel like the NFC East is going to be stacked. NFC West is going to be cool too, but can't call it right now, dude. It's too soon.
Hot NFL prediction. Okay. NFL prediction. I think.
He said it well.
I think your Houston Texans are going to win the AFC. That's 30 seconds or less.
I'm not a biased Broncos fan, but you want a hot take, so I'm going to give you one. The Broncos will make the playoffs.
Wow.
Duder.
So what do you think about these HSOs and predictions?
Hot takes.
Yeah, thank you, CD. Hot takes.
Oh hell
Be sure to
no!
let us know in the comments, and don't forget to
Bro had a
like and
Disney
follow.
moment.
Wacko.
Disney Channel. Now back to
Wacko.
the show.
Did you have to pay CD for that?
Yeah. I probably have to give him some royalties on that. No, I asked him. He said, "Cool,
Also,
it's good."
Darth Wacko is super cool, and he's a really good podcaster.
Darth Wacko, super cool podcast.
Yo, that wasn't even AI. Okay, it's not even an AI. Let's see. Wait, I could use that clip for other things. Just AI's voice, and it won't give me any
best
trouble, right?
friends, Darth Wacko.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals one is the hottest take out of all those ones, besides Cowboys missing the playoffs.
I don't know, man. Somebody's saying the Broncos are going to make it. No, thank you. The Broncos ain't making it nowhere.
if they
Broncos ain't making it
do,
nowhere to
Broncos
the
ain't
toilet.
making it. They're no.
They're making it to the toilet.
if they did, it
Broncos
goes
wanna-
over all of our heads.
Basically, everybody in that division is like the Patriots. They're just waiting for the Chiefs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's what
To be
Buffalo,
fair,
Miami did for so long. The Jets
Patriots
seized their
made us
opportunity when the Patriots dynasty fell. They got Aaron Rodgers. They're like, now's our time.
Yeah.
It's just stacking up until the Chiefs are no good anymore.
The
Now, he
Chiefs
did
are way
admit
too
that it was a
stacked.
pretty hot take.
It is, and never
I like
say
it.
never,
I
but
like it. That's probably my favorite hot take out of all of them was that one because it's one that I wasn't really expecting anyone to say. So, I like it.
Right. Although 14-3 for the
That's what I was gonna say.
Bengals is pretty out there too.
That
I
is,
think.
I think the
That is
IHawk
good.
one was the biggest for me. Do you say the Steelers are going to make it and
Yeah,
not
that one too.
Russell?
Yeah.
They're going to
Not
make
with
it, like you
Russell.
said, they're going to take Fields with them to the Super Bowl. What are they
I
doing,
think
man?
if they did make it, it would be Russell
Right.
Wilson.
Right,
It would be
yeah.
like, oh my God, he goes back to his old form when he was on Seattle. Now he's good again because the Broncos were just that bad with him. Now
I
he's
think he is going to be better. I think he's playing like, well, this is it. Like,
yeah, I think so too.
I mean, if he gets benched here, he's done.
It's the end of his
No.
career.
Yeah,
You're
it's retirement
competing with
after
Fields
this.
is bad. Like if you're like, damn, this dude Fields is behind me, and they're even contemplating starting him over me, I got to step my shit up. Bro.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to step it up. No, I'm saying he's going to step it up because he's going to play with a
Chip on his shoulder.
A chip on his shoulder, but also like, I'm just going to let it go and give it everything I got because
This is it. This is
this
the end.
is it. And I think
Do or
it's
die.
gonna, I think it's going to encourage him.
You know it's bad for any player in the NFL when they're doing their own fantasy football drafts and they skip picking themselves for somebody else. And you know that's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson hovered himself and said, Nah, I'm going Lamar. I'm picking up Patrick.
Yo,
Dak's still available. I think I'll take Prescott. Oh, I don't know.
Sean's sitting there.
Will Levis is still available. Maybe I should take some Will Levis.
I think it's got to be a combination of both, though. I think it's got to be the Broncos were that bad with him, and like he just has all this extra motivation because he knows if he doesn't, that this is the end of his career. If he doesn't do something this year, he probably should just sit this next one out. You know what I mean?
He'll be a Joe Flacco after this.
Yeah. This is his Joe Flacco moment, where it's like, I'm never gonna start another year if I don't do it right now.
He's Mr. Unlimited.
But and it's definitely possible that the Broncos were that bad because they're probably going to be that bad again this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I also hear a lot of local shit about it too because I'm directly in the middle between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So, I think it's gonna be all right. I'm literally 90 minutes from Cleveland, 90 minutes from Pittsburgh.
Right.
I really wish that this season was not the season that the Chiefs decided to get super stacked. I wish they at least waited a year or two because this season has a lot of teams that are up and coming, like the Jets and the Bears and the Falcons and stuff like that. That would be a lot more interesting if you weren't like, dang it, bro, it's just going to be the freaking Chiefs again. They're freaking stacked. So there could be all that momentum going into the playoffs, and then Chiefs just beat everyone.
But how many years did the Patriots have a stacked team? Outside of that Randy Moss year where they were just connecting every fucking drive, they didn't ever had a stacked team, but they
still won.
They still won.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons that I, as much as they irritated the hell out of me, admired. It's kind of like the Yankees. It's just like, how can you be mad at them just being better? It's like
because I'm a Cowboys fan. So they can go fuck
I'm
themselves.
sick of them, but damn, I gotta have some respect for what they're doing, And they're doing it with relatively nobody. I mean, yeah, they had Randy Moss. I mean, they made Wes Welker. Wes Welker wouldn't have been Wes Welker on any other team.
After him was Julian Edelman. He was
and then
he was
Edelman,
Wes Welker reincarnate.
And
Julian
Edelman
Edelman was just a better looking Wes Welker. That's all he was.
Hey, he's Kent State guy. Whew, that's me.
I honestly get them confused with each other. They're like the same person in my brain. It's both the same person.
If you actually Google search Wes Welker, the first thing that pulls up isn't him. It's Julian Edelman. And then you scroll down below Julian Edelman, you find Wes Welker's stats.
Yeah, they're the same guy.
Yeah, but point is, like, I mean, through the entire Brady era, how, like, superstars, how many did they really ever even have? You know? And it's like, you got some teams that are stacked to the gills, and they just can't do it.
Because
Cowboys.
every team, the Super Bowl, this Super Bowl era has proven one major thing to us that a lot of teams don't seem to realize yet, is that it doesn't matter how stacked you are at wide receiver, how stacked you are at running back, how stacked you are at defense. The only position that matters to win you a Super Bowl is quarterback. That's it. If you have a superstar quarterback who can drop a ball perfectly 50, 60 yards down the field right into a wide receiver's hands and double coverage, you're winning the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Look at that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Garoppolo made the Super Bowl twice with San Francisco.
Manager. I'm not saying that the only thing, like if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to go to the Super Bowl. But what I am saying is if you have a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, a Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, quarterbacks like that on your team, it's like it doesn't matter what you have. You could have trash for wide receivers. You could have nobody to throw to. You're going to the playoffs. You're probably going to the Super Bowl. They're that caliber quarterback.
They minimize the mistakes, that's happening on a team because they have the experience. So if you're minimalizing, no interceptions, no bad turnovers or anything like that, and you're at least able to pull out a field goal where else someone else would have just punted it, it gets you that much closer to like winning every time.
Look, you guys know how much I love Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl with the Broncos, he did nothing for that team the entire year. That
was Von Miller's team.
Yeah, but
you know what happened, man? When playoffs came into bound, Peyton Manning said, "Hey, I am Peyton fucking Manning. I win Super Bowls."
Yep,
like
exactly like what Janus just said. He did. He minimized mistakes and just did.
If any other quarterback had been in that position, I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, definitely not. They look at because they couldn't do it with Tebow.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody could have done it with Tebow. That's just literally take Breece Hall and give him the ball and tell him to play quarterback. It's the same thing as Tebow.
Tebow could have been Cam Newton, but
Tebow was
the MySpace to Cam Newton's Facebook.
That's a great analogy.
He was just before his time.
Yeah, he was doing great, but he couldn't get him over the top.
He's great at running. Tebow's great.
Hey, so is Justin Fields. But...
Yeah, that's why Justin Fields isn't up there with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and quarterbacks like that. Just like Tim Tebow. Yeah, Tim Tebow had some legs on him. He could throw a ball 70 yards probably.
They just need to give him the ball. Let him run.
Not very well.
Yeah, doing it 2 times a game doesn't mean you're a good quarterback. Okay.
Put in Justin Fields randomly once every quarter, and everyone's like, "All right, time to rush."
Wait, what's happening? Are they running? QB? What's happening?
Definitely not throwing the ball. So let's just rush him here.
I've said that, dude.
I turned my head and Dabs disappeared. What happened?
He put his finger up and then got up and walked away. No, I was gonna say I was saying that a couple of years ago. I think with Philadelphia, they had a really badass backup to Justin, and I was sitting there like, dude, what they need to do is have their quarterback start at running back, and then just you call Hut, toss it to him, and then like you've seen running backs and stuff throw it down the field. Okay, well this dude's an actual quarterback now that can run the ball. Like imagine Tim Tebow playing running back, toss him the ball, he can run it very well. But at the same time, if you just play it like a run, you pull everybody in, he can still toss it down the field like a quarterback. There's
Didn't
not a lot
somebody
of
try
running
to turn him into a tight end?
Philly,
was it them?
Philly tried to turn Tebow into tight end. Yeah. Maybe the Patriots too, but Philly for sure.
Like imagine a Justin Fields, a running back. He doesn't have the size to be a running back, but he can run. He can scramble. So if you get the ball in his hands behind the line on a direct running play, he'll make room. He can do it. But at the same time, he would give you that threat where every single time Justin Fields touches that ball for a run, he might also be throwing it down the field because he's a quarterback. He's got a lot of arm talent too.
Kind of like when what's his name that tied in for
God
the
of the
Saints.
Frogs.
Anytime he's got the ball,
Taysom
and
Hill.
they
Thank
hike
you
it
for the
straight to him
raid.
or toss it off to the side. You know,
Taysom Hill, dude.
yeah,
That
he
we
boy
got a
can
raid.
just launch one.
Hold on, we got a raid from God of the Frogs.
Let's
Hello.
go.
God of the
Untilta, how you
Frogs,
doing,
what's
buddy?
up? Welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that raid.
W raid.
What's good? Not much, man.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Bengals much at all, what you were saying earlier. I think the Bengals are going to be good enough to make the playoffs. A lot of people are sleeping on Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase for some reason when the years before they've already proved it. They just had an off year where he was freaking injured. So
They're a better team. I think they're a better team than Baltimore. Myself.
Really, that's great. I mean, I don't know if they're better than Baltimore in my eyes, but I think they're still good. They're still the Bengals. I don't see what's changed besides the RB situation on offense where they're going to be that drastically different.
I think Burrow's a better quarterback as a quarterback. In 5 years, who's going to still be doing what he's doing? It's going to be Joe Burrow.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow's got a hell of a lot of talent. And I think last year, if anything is going to make Joe Burrow come out this year and want to be even more badass, he's going to look at last year and be like coming off injury. And even when he was playing, he wasn't playing stellar. He wasn't playing up to his potential at all.
They stunk up the first 4 weeks.
Exactly. They stunk it up, dude. Trust me. I had T. Higgins. T. Higgins had trash for points for me last season, dude, because Joe Burrow wasn't throwing it very well, even when he wasn't.
I think it was that game. I think it was week 5. I think it was that and then they exploded, and it was like, oh damn, is Joe Burrow back? And then he got hurt.
Right back down. Yep.
I think they just put him back in too freaking early. I think he was still hurt, and after the
they were desperate
like,
to though.
like just take him out, man. Just.
And then that week, I remember T. Higgins. They made the comment before that week that Joe Burrow talked to the press, was like, I'm going to make it a point to get T. Higgins back into this, and T. Higgins, because he's a valuable member of our team. And he'd been trashed up to that point. And then the next week, T. Higgins scored me like 20 or 30 points in fantasy. Loved it. Hell yeah. T. Higgins is back. Joe Burrow injury. Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Yay. T. Higgins is not back. He's not back at all.
But when you're a Super Bowl caliber team and you're 1-4, 1-5, whatever they were, and you have an opportunity to get your starter and quarterback back, you're desperate. You want him back as soon as possible. And it did seem like they rushed him back.
100%.
They're going to play smart. They're going to play smart. And like I said, it's the long game, and I think he's going to be more valuable long term. Nothing against Lamar, but I think just his style of play is a 5, 6, 7 year career, and then he starts going down. It's gonna be the same thing with Tua. Yeah, I just think that's just the style that they play hard for those years, but then their body just can't take it.
Even more so for Jackson because he is. He is the best rusher on that team. He has been.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of these other there now. So
yeah. I'm not saying they're not. They are extremely talented.
But they've had good running backs in the past, and Lamar Jackson still outpaces them in runs.
That's the only reason he's such a good quarterback. I have literally last year, dude, when Lamar Jackson wasn't injured, I had him benched for 2 or 3 weeks for other people. I put Kirk Cousins in at one point over Lamar Jackson because fantasy wise, I honestly almost had a hard time keeping Lamar Jackson. It was more along the lines of who the fuck am I going to get that's that much better than Lamar Jackson? I need to just keep him. But fantasy-wise, he kind of sucks sometimes. He'll go out there and have 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on 180 passing yards. But he'll have like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns for like 130 rushing yards. Like the rushing yards are amazing, dude. You got your points. You still got me 16, 17 points. Wow, amazing.
Not but every other top end quarterback
put
up
25
to 30.
Exactly. So it's like, dude, I can't keep starting you if you're putting up 10 to 15 points a week for me. Even though you're winning these games, even though you're dominating the field, even though you're going out there winning 40-0 and shit like that, you're throwing 1 touchdown a game. Like, did you get me no fucking points? So real life, dude, MVP. Fantasy, no. I had a hard time even wanting to keep him. It was like, but what am I going to get to replace him? I'm gonna have to draft a quarterback in like the 100th pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Lamar Jackson is undraftable. Hot take.
But that's listen. I'm hoping that
almost.
I'm hoping that I'm right enough that I drafted Jaden Daniels and I can ride that train as he goes up like those guys, and then sell high, buy low kind of thing.
Dude, I think drafting Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels is a hell of a strategy in fantasy this year. If you want to go no quarterback throughout the entire thing, and then if you need like a best ball backup, taking Wilson behind them as your third QB, at least one of those guys has got to be elite because they both run the ball. They both do. It's a risk. But if you're building your team and you get someone else instead of Mahomes and Lamar and Josh Allen early on that's making your team that much better, and then you get to fill in a quarterback you got for free at the end of the draft, I definitely think it's worth it. But there's one quarterback which I have a question mainly for Daz because I think you dropped him. I don't remember if you kept him or not, but a lot of people are taking Anthony Richardson extremely early in drafts this year when he's barely proved himself last year. And on the feet, just like we talked about, he looks great. And he looked good in the games he played, especially for fantasy, with one of the games I think even being like a 28 or 30-point game. And now he's starting again for the Colts. So what do you think about him and the Colts this year?
He was very hard not to hold on to. I think his sample size is small, but it's impressive, and they are building around him. I don't know. Huh? Yeah. Small but impressive.
Small but impressive. Sounds like me.
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
Welcome to the podcast, Busy, right?
Welcome to the party, guys. We're going to be here for all season.
We have broke 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So.
That's fucking funny.
No, but for real, he's very talented. And he is like Cam Newton. He's built like him. He's big. He can pass. I am very high on him, and he'll have Jonathan Taylor this time too. Last year, they didn't have each other. Jonathan Taylor was holding out
most of the season.
Yeah, so now they're together. They have Josh Downs. They have there's another wide receiver. I can't remember his name.
Michael
Pittman. Yeah.
Pittman, yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting. That division's tough. Will Levis is really
it's the AFC, man.
Quarterback on that list.
The AFC has got so many teams that when you really break down the talent that they got, it's like, man, these guys might push for a playoff spot. It's like there's a lot of those teams in the AFC that we hadn't talked about the Colts at all, and now we're sitting here like glazing them.
They won't make the playoffs. They'll be lucky to even get close to a wild card, but Jacksonville is going to have them beat this. I think Titans will probably finish fourth in the division, and then it would be Colts, Jags, and then Texans, if I had to guess. So.
I was going to say, I think that they're going to finish at the bottom of their division. I do. I think they'll finish right there at the bottom.
The Colts?
I think Titans needs to tag
the Colts
build up.
Oh, I think they're gonna surprise people and push for I think I had them on my tier list at potential wild card.
Man, if Anthony Richardson, because I've been high on him since before he was drafted. So,
dude, if he can stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. Because last year he was taking these crazy hits, and as a quarterback, you cannot take hits like that. And obviously,
too. He's a young guy ready to go, and now that's not good.
Yeah, and also because they kept putting Tua back in when he was like concussed like 3 or 4 times, and they just kept putting him back in. Yep. Get back in, even though you just started putting up the signs.
That doctor got fired, dude.
Out by you.
The doctor straight up, he got fired. That doctor straight up, he straight up told everybody that he is good to go. He passed concussion protocols. Put him back out there. He's A-okay.
Concussed again.
And after the game, they found out that he flat out lied that he didn't pass any of the concussion protocols, that he wasn't healthy to go back in. But the doctor was like, no, he's good. Send him back in. Yep, send him right back in. Like, yeah, it was the whole thing.
So bad for your health more than anything else to get concussed like 3 or 4 times consecutively in a row like that.
That's why his hands did that shit when he hit the ground, and his hands, like, they locked up like that. It's because it was getting so bad. That's what, dude. I felt so bad, but I made that joke within like 5 minutes after he got hit. He was laying on the ground. I was like,
You
dude,
start throwing up gang signs,
I
man.
did.
You know,
I
you know
was
you're
like,
not
throw
okay.
signs,
got
homie.
hit so hard that motherfucker was throwing up gang signs.
That's a
Yeah, I
red
remember-
flag.
Remember, Jason was like, "Damn," because he looked on his phone. He saw that I dropped 2 immediately after that. I'm like, "He's not coming back
Yeah,
after
he ain't
that
coming
one.
back.
I am not keeping 2."
Homeboy was calling his hood to come pick him up.
I was like,
Man.
"Damn, he's gone." All right,
That
dropping.
was crazy.
Yeah,
Damn.
Jadu didn't mess around. He cold dropped him.
I had to, man.
I did make
Yeah.
a waiver wire claim while we were sitting here, but I'm not going to tell you guys in case somebody else makes it and they're higher up on the waiver wire.
My bench on
Keep that
THF League
to
is
yourself.
crazy, by the way. My bench is absurd.
Mine is pretty good too.
I
I
like
know,
my
the
team.
rookies.
I mean,
Yeah, I like my team too, man. I honestly think the biggest point scorer, which is kind of a double-sided blade for me, because I think they're not going to do that good. I noticed I'm like the only person that picked Chicago not as like a playoff team out of all of us. I honestly, Chicago's got a great young team. I think Williams is going to do great at quarterback. I think he's got a lot of talent. I don't think they're going to do shit this year. I think it'll be a year or two before Chicago's actually like playoff.
that's what I'm saying. They
That's why I
need
have
a
them
year.
low, dude. I have
When
them
you
low.
have them like that, they need a year to just
Exactly.
get chemistry. They need to get the
Yep.
playbook. They need to get the coach.
I'm not saying they're going to be bad or suck.
It's
I
like
mean,
that in every
I could
sport.
see them going out there and getting even 10 wins this season. I
It was
could.
just- it's
I
the
don't think
same
they're going to go to
thing.
the playoffs, though.
It's
All
like
the
when
same
LeBron
things.
went to Miami. It took them a year, and then they got him.
These are all the same things that we were talking about at the beginning of last season about Houston and Green Bay.
Yeah, that's true. And look how it happened. I could be wrong. Like I said, that's my one like big hot take. I think with the teams at least is I think Chicago is not even going to be a playoff team this year.
I
I think they
it's
could at
teams,
best get 10 wins.
I agree with that.
I think it's teams like Green Bay and the Texans that are showing us that sometimes that they can pop. They can pop earlier
Yeah.
than you expect them to. And honestly, I kind of want Green Bay to crash and burn this year. But God, after seeing what they were able to accomplish last year, I've got them up there in either. I think I've got them fighting for. I think I've got them in playoffs because, I think I've got them in the playoffs, but I don't have them as a Super Bowl contender. I just don't think that they're gonna. I think the Super Bowl is on the NFC is gonna go through San Francisco, Detroit, or Dallas. Honestly, again this year,
or
And
Philly.
so-
That's what
I don't really have Philly. I guess I kind of have them as a Super Bowl contender just because you kind of almost have to.
I'm not gonna lie. I see end of the season, Dallas, Philly, prime time. It's gonna be a big game. I don't know what the stakes will be.
Oh,
If it's gonna
man.
be for the
The NFC?
division or what, but it's gonna be
The
a
NFC
big fucking
divisional
deal.
game, dude, that would be
It's
insane.
Not just like it's gonna be like it's gonna cause waves and there's gonna be changes to the brackets. I think it's gonna be that important.
I think that'd be
Like
amazing.
you guys are gonna be this,
Cowboys,
this
Eagles
close.
game.
I mean, that's how it went down last year.
Hey,
That's how it went
imagine
down
it
last
goes like this, okay? You get the NFC divisional game is the Cowboys versus the Eagles, where the Cowboys win, right? So then the Cowboys would be going to Super Bowl. We're on the AFC divisional game. You have the Texans versus the Chiefs, and the Texans win, and they end up going to the Super Bowl. So you could potentially have the Cowboys playing in the NFC Championship against the Eagles, followed by playing against the Houston Texans in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you could.
I think that would be fucking awesome, and we could actually see that this year if the Cowboys played up
No
to their
Texas Super Bowl.
Yeah, thy will be done.
That would be clean, and I wish that would happen. That would be freaking sweet. But I know that I don't want to get my hopes up because I don't want to be heartbroken like last year. Because last year I really was. Not just being a Cowboy fan like everyone else, but I was the most high on the Cowboys ever. And y'all know me on the podcast. I'm straight up honest about my takes, even if they sound stupid. That's just what I think. And last year, I thought the Cowboys were at the best they were ever at. Their defense was solid. Their offense was super solid. I was like, this has got to be it. And it just didn't happen. I just can't get to that again with the Cowboys unless they prove to me that they made a change that's going to be better than last year.
I was really. I tell you what though,
100%.
It hurt me bad last year in preseason when Diggs was declared out for the year, and
Bland stepping up, oh boy. Anyway,
I'm excited to see I'm excited to see him back this year. So I hope that makes a difference.
I'm one of those people, and this is crazy being a Cowboys fan. I've said this since the first season we had him. I think Trayvon Diggs is an amazing cornerback when it comes to interceptions. I think when it comes to defending the pass, he's like mid-tier at best. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is that good at all defending the
You're
pass. That dude
crazy, bro.
Dude, he lets in so much passing yards. Look up his stats, dude. He's like one of the worst cornerbacks for letting in passing yards. He gets a massive amount of interceptions. He swats away plenty of balls, but he goes for the interceptions so much that when he misses it, it lets out huge plays.
He's gonna give up a big play here and there, but the way he plays and as good and as talented as he is, people don't even try to throw his way anymore. That's respect. That's when you know he has got people locked up. And so the fact that every once in a while he is going to let off a big play because he does play aggressive,
4 or 5 times a game.
But yeah, it's not even that many.
I agree with you. I know. I'm exaggerating. I do.
But
agree,
he's that good, and the reason you don't see
he doesn't get thrown at.
The reason his interceptions dipped, and so did those massive plays that he was giving up that first year, because people realized how good he is, and people aren't throwing at him anymore.
No, so I agree. I think the big reason though that I say that though is because he's so good at intercepting that he tries too hard to get those interceptions. So like, don't get me wrong, as long as he keeps producing interceptions, then yeah, pay him like a top cornerback. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. But if he goes a season where he plays every single stat he has is all the exact same, except his interceptions. Take his interceptions down to like 3 interceptions on the year. He would be like a fucking top 20 cornerback at best. But you throw in all the interceptions, and yeah, dude, he's like a top 5 cornerback easily. That's my whole thing with him. As long as he's getting the interceptions, sure, dude, I love Trayvon Diggs. But as soon as he stops getting interceptions, I don't know, dude. I don't really care for him after that. He just lets in too many yards for me.
Dabs, why do you not have a L'Jarius Sneed jersey, bro?
Right? Talking about badass cornerbacks.
Come on. You got L'Jarius Sneed himself. If he was on the Cowboys, I'd be like, Jason, for Christmas, there's one thing I want. Give me a freaking Sneed jersey in all black, bro. That shit's going hard.
And
he's
you're
one
muted.
of the best, though.
You forgot it was muted.
Aha!
There he is. Welcome back, Dad.
I said I'll have to send you one.
There you go.
I'll put it up on my wall, but I'm not wearing it. Just
I'll wear it, dude.
It's a Titans jersey. I'm not wearing it, bro.
What do you have something against the Titans?
That's gonna be
I'll wear
like,
it every single podcast.
You have something against the Titans?
No, I'm just not wearing any other team unless it's my teams. You know what I'm saying?
Would you wear
Cowboys
a
or
Stroud jersey?
Texans? Yeah, I would.
Yeah, he goes both ways, Texas and Dallas.
He goes both ways.
Teams, dog.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
that's all right. That's all right, buddy.
I like that. He goes both ways.
Hey, you would wear a Browns and Titans jersey, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't wear a Browns jersey.
You telling me you would not wear a Browns jersey?
That's surprising.
I thought
That
you,
is
I thought
surprising.
you, because see, I would wear a Chiefs jersey. That's my AFC team. That's my second team.
I wouldn't wear a jersey.
I'd wear a Houston Texans jersey. If I have to.
I
for an
own
AFC
one
team,
jersey,
it'd
and
be
it's a
Houston.
Titans jersey. It's a Marcus Mariota jersey.
Damn,
I almost
that's old.
way back. I probably shouldn't say this considering who he turned out to be, but I almost had an Adrian Peterson jersey at one point.
That's all right.
That was before he
For
started beating kids,
collectibles,
though.
hell yeah, I would have all different types of teams. Over anything, I really just like the NFL. I just like watching football. I
See,
like
if
being
it's
impressed with
yeah,
all
if
of
it's
it.
going jerseys, I would much rather have basketball jerseys.
See, I've always been a fan of certain players. Like I love Megatron up in Detroit. I would have rocked a Megatron jersey in a heartbeat. Calvin Johnson was just freaking one of my favorite players of all time. Barry Sanders is another one.
I remember when Calvin Johnson got drafted.
I would rock a Barry Sanders jersey today. You know what I'm saying? Like my favorite player of all time. You know, so I don't really have. Now I would never in a million years. You will never ever find me in a New York Giants jersey.
Oh yeah.
A Commanders, Redskins, whatever they're called these days. I don't care. Ever. Philly, bro, it won't even be in my house. You know what I'm saying?
You might catch me in a Philly jersey on Halloween if I'm going as a bitch.
That's how I am about the Texans, dude. I will not wear a Texans jersey. I will not cheer for the Texans. I'm sorry. It's just I can't do it.
That's how I feel about the Astros.
Yeah, and by the way,
also how I feel about Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I don't root for the Astros or anything like that. Just football. Everything else, talking Mavs, Stars, everything Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got family that roots for Houston. I've been rooting for them since the freaking Oilers. Like my great granddad's got an Oilers hat, which I have it back there.
Now,
and they were
that's the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they were the Houston team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They were the Houston team. So now he was Texans and Cowboys because he had to switch teams. You know. So my Aunt Beverly, all the other people on the side, they're all Texans, and then my dad's side, mom, they all Cowboys. Yeah.
You get dabs at Houston Oilers jersey.
I would wear an Oilers jersey. I won't wear a Texans jersey.
See, that's like for me. I personally have never given two craps about the Raiders, but my Uncle Mike, growing up, he was like my dad, and he always his entire life was a huge Oakland Raiders fan.
Yep.
And I remember the first season the Raiders almost made it to the playoffs. Like they were looking like they were killing. Shit was like a year or two after he passed. And I was like, man, if only he could see his Raiders actually fucking shining and like doing good. I think it was the first year Derek Carr actually looked like a real quarterback and like was out there doing good. And then he got injured. Ever
that
since
was pre-eyeliner Derek Carr?
Yeah, pre-eyeliner Derek Carr. But he was still good.
Dude.
He could still see.
He fitted the Raiders so well because he just looks like a Raider. He just looks like a bully. He just get mad at you for not doing the right play. He just fitted that aesthetic. So, and the Saints too, he kind of does. He just looks like got that eyeline, like he's always tired and stuff like that.
Yep.
But
yeah, I when I first met Lobster, I was like, why are you always cheer for the Raiders when you see them on? And then obviously I met Uncle Mike. And
yeah, that's why
it all made more sense.
I really jerseys, man.
I would get a Cleveland Indians Omar Vizquel jersey. That'd be cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah, I mean,
he was like an all-star shortstop in the 2000s.
Okay. My list for sports goes NFL about 98%, basketball about 1%. Baseball about 1%, and then everything else is 0.
He's just who I watched growing up. Or Jose Ramirez.
Gotcha.
But no, Cavs jerseys all the way. I like basketball way more.
Yeah, I'm hockey 1A, football 1B because I like them each equally. Really, I mean, I get more intense about the Stanley Cup than I do the Super Bowl.
I do about the finals than I do the Super Bowl. I get fucking excited.
Hockey playoffs are the best, man. The best, bro.
I'm really pushing. My birthday's on a Friday this year, and it's the NBA in-season tournament, and the Cavs play the Bulls in Cleveland. Really pushing for a birthday present to go see the Cavs. In the tournament.
Oh, well, hey, I just noticed the time. I said we were going to try to keep it to about an hour and a half. I know we would probably run long being the preseason show. But let me also quickly remind everybody, those that have stuck with us, and I appreciate it. We got a couple things going on in the Discord, or I do more specifically on my Twitch channel. Normally, if I can't, why can't I get this thing to? I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties today. My apologies. Share screen. There we go.
You know that's true. That hockey's just Fight Club on Ice. Whenever it was like half a season when they were like, "All right, no more fighting in hockey. We're doing away with fighting. That's not what this sport is about." And like half a season later, they were like, "Fighting's back. We're allowing fighting in hockey again. You can fight. It's fine."
Hockey's awesome. Yo, so we got obviously the four of us will be showing you guys the results of our pick'ems from week to week. But you also, if you're a subscriber in my channel, you will be able to play against us as well. So that's something I've been doing for a long time, offering all my subscribers the opportunity to play in our weekly NFL pick'ems. Also, we do Monday Night Football Squares. 100 bits gets you a square. That's another way you can win some V-Bucks, Twitch gift cards, Amazon gift cards, THF merch, all that good stuff. So that being said, if you go into our THF Discord, if you're not in the Discord, please join the Discord. What are you doing? Seriously. But our week one weekly NFL Pick'ems sheet is posted there. All you have to do is DM me through Discord. Let me know which picks you want. Don't forget the Monday Night Football total points, so that that's a tiebreaker if needed. And then, whoa. That was the wrong way.
Oh, go into your porn section there.
There we go.
What?
We got the 49ers and Jets Monday Night Football
This
Squares
is After Dark.
this
Skinamax.
week, so. We need some Emmy speech wrap it up music. Oh yeah, when we go overtime. Yep, pretty much. All right, so yeah, rock and roll.
Who said that? Lobster Show.
Hey, that's our producer.
Lobster's old though. To be fair,
she signs the checks apparently. I'm sorry.
She's normally in bed by like 6 p.m. So
she signs the checks.
If y'all see Lobster in the chats, that's who that is. That's my wife, and she is the one that runs the comments best she can when she's not taking the dog out or whatever else she does when I'm not around.
She is great. She does.
Give her a hand. Give her a hand.
Big W to Lobster, which I also want to say big W to her because I made fun of her in Discord. She helped me get affiliate, and then after I hit affiliate, I never saw her in my stream again for like 5 months. And I cracked on her in Discord for that. And like the next 3 streams, as I would go live, she was like, first motherfucker, I'm here.
See, that's all you gotta
it's
do.
Real family right there.
If people just stop showing up for whatever reason, you call them out and they come back. There you go. That's streamer tip 101.
Exactly.
Call out the people that disappear on you, and they'll come back.
Flat out tag them in Discord and call them out for them doing wrong. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's my sister, so I can do that without any consequences. Do that to all your normal fans, people.
Okay, so that's an example of bad advice. Don't do that. All right, kids. Hey, do we have anybody we want to send a raid to? Anybody got anybody off the top of their head that they know is live that we can send this party off to?
Let me check.
Off the top for me, I know it's a rocket racing thing, but IB's he's Mr. Live.
Oh heck yeah! Let's go raid IB then. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Let us know what you think in the comments. And this is recorded every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. And we are live on Twitch at all the channels you see there underneath our names. Darth Wakko _THF, Digital Navy _THF, Daddy Dabs THF, and Januvial. Come drop us a follow. Appreciate you guys. Let's I don't have my dashboard up, so
Start of all of this, by the way, guys. The first thing Wakko said to me, "Hey, make sure you have your Twitch dashboard up, by the way, so that way at the end we can be ready to raid."
I just accidentally closed it.
Here we are at the end. I don't have my dashboard up.
I clicked on the wrong tab and I closed it. Now I do. Now I'm back up. Where is Mr. IB? B T V E E. There we go.
Hang on, wait. How do you spell it? Hold on. How do you spell it?
Oh, IBTVEE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's IBTV with 2 E's after that.
Yeah.
I'm starting my raid on my side.
Yeah,
Same
5
here.
seconds.
All right, I'll start mine.
3, 2.
Great
1.
podcast, everybody.
Later, guys.